Must be it's okay. All right, Ashley. So what we're gonna do is we're going to learn how to read histograms. But you and I kind of talked about that last time, and then we are going to compare the mean and median, which we also did talk about last time. So just a couple of things you knew, but Stephen Kenny is going to tutor on Tuesdays and Fridays at Central. So he should be there today. Do you see him? You don't? Okay. Well, he should be there. I think he's going to be there at 10 or 11. If he's not there, he should be there very soon. And then, as you know, same thing as always. Just make sure to go back and always check your grade book after you turn in an assignment. And then if you get a U, go back and fix it. And now you can talk to Stephen, if you can find him, on Tuesdays and Fridays to help you with that. It's not there. And then always make sure you watch the lessons, take notes, and then work every day, every week towards passing, which actually you do a very good job at that already. Okay, so getting started, let us do this. So go ahead and just choose any note pods. So Ashley, you get to choose from 9 note pods today. And then just put your name in one of them. And then tell me, and so now you can tell me in words if you want, because you do have a microphone. And so unfortunately your class, you don't have anybody else to test, but what does the X and Y axis on a histogram typically measure? So that's why we're going to talk about this. So Ashley wrote that it was the frequency. So Ashley, whenever you get back, let me know, just talk, but she just stepped out for a second. So anyway, the y-axis always measures the frequency of what you're recording, and the x-axis is what you're recording. So for week 1, you guys did something with sodas, like the number of sodas people drink in a day. So the number of sodas people drink in a day would go on the x-axis, and then when you go around and you interview different people, so like let's say I interview you, Dustin, and you say you drink 5, then that would go on the y-axis. That's how many you drink. And let's just say I interview somebody else over there, Mr. Roth, and he says 10, then that would also go on the y-axis. So that's kind of your frequency. So let me show you an example here. And we'll talk about the difference between the median and the mean in just a second. So here's a histogram, and this measures the score on the final exam for, students, different students. So what I want you to do, knowing that this left side represents the frequency and the x-axis here, down here on the right, going out to the right, represents the score, like the student's score. First of all, can you tell me then how many students scored between 40 and 80? So Dustin, what do you think? How many scored between 40 and 80? Okay, so how many scored between 40 and 60? Can you tell? Okay, so did you say 60? Where did you get 60? Oh, so you're answering the total question. Okay, so that's perfect, Dustin, that's perfect. So between 50 and 60, 20, you can see it here. Students scored between 40 and 60, and then between 60 and 80, you have that 40 that you said. So that's perfect. So you end up getting, yeah, that 60 students. So that's kind of how the frequency works. You just look at the top of the bars. So based on that, how many students took our test? Just how many students took the test? Sorry, I had to go out of there for a second. Okay, so let's just help me out with this measurement. So how many students scored between 0 and 20, like this red box? 5, we'll go with 5. How about the pink? 10, good. And what about purple or blue? What is that, blue? Blue. Okay, that was good. So just tell me, Dustin, how would you find how many students scored between 40, or sorry, how many students took the test? How would you find that number? Good. Very good. Very good. So if you add them all up, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So it looks like 100. So awesome. So kind of keep that in mind reading your frequency tables because some people were struggling with that a little bit. And then our final thing is I just wanted to talk really briefly about how the mean compares to the median. So when you look at your histograms, you guys remember that you had some normal histograms which kind of look the same on the left side as they do on the right side, maybe with just a little bit of variation. In this case, the mean and the median end up being right here in the middle. So they're about the same values, right? Because your median is always your middle number, and your mean is always the average, which ends up being in the middle if you have a normal distribution like this. But in this distribution, it's not normal, right? The left side looks different than the right side by quite a bit. So Ashley, I don't know if you're back yet because you know this too, but Dustin, if you know, let me know. Is this distribution then skewed left or skewed right? So that's good that you said that because that's what everybody always says. And it's kind of tricky, but it's always going to be skewed depending on where the tail is. So if you look at this distribution, it goes kind of like, yeah, it goes left. You got a tail coming out this way. So this is actually considered left skewed. And so I just wanted to clear that up because everybody, almost everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people who did those first assignments last week would have called this right skewed. And it totally seems like it, but if you have a tail, follow your tail, and that's how it's skewed. So if it doesn't look normal, then follow the tail. So that brings us to comparing the mean and the median. So our median is still going to be in the middle of our data, right? So wherever our median is, it's still in the middle. So I don't know where it is, but let's just say it's here. But here's what happens. When you have a skewed histogram, your mean is going to follow your tail. So which way is the mean going to go? To the left or to the right? Good, Dustin, very good. To the left. So that means the median is going to be smaller than the mean. So what happens with that tail is that tail pulls the mean out of center because we have some extra data values that are small, and so it makes the mean get smaller. So that was just one thing I wanted to kind of point out to you guys. The other thing that can change your mean is an outlier. So even if you have a normal distribution like this, but then I've got some data out here, let's just say on this bottom one out to the right, that's going to cause my mean to follow that. So your mean kind of follows if you have tails or if you have outliers. All right, so that's really all that I wanted to touch on today. When you guys are finished, I don't know if Ashley's back yet, but Dustin, since you're here, and I don't know what happened to Monique, she like came in and then came out. But what you want to do is you want to go into Schoology, so I'm going to show you that really quickly. So, hang on 1 second. Let me find our course. Okay, so you want to go into Schoology, and then I put this, can you see it yet, Dustin? There it goes. I think it's up now. But anyway, what you want to do is you want to answer this question. So it says, here's a histogram basically, and it says a travel agent conducted a survey to find out how many times people go to the beach each year, and so that's the results of the survey. So now you can answer questions about this survey. For example, what does the height of each bar represent? How can you use the bar heights to find the number of people surveyed? And then compare the mean to the median. So that's exactly what we just did today. The other key thing with this is that once you post, you'll be able to see other people's posts down here. If you're the first person that posts, then obviously you won't, but what you need to do after you're done posting, and if you'll notice, I put it up here, make sure to explain your answer using PEA and respond to 2 other people's posts. So you can't earn a proficient without responding to 2 other posts. So we're trying to do that with all classes now. So if there's a discussion, you have to go in and respond twice. So Dustin, did you have any questions about that at all? None? All right. Well, very good. Okay, so that ends our webinar. I'm going to stop the recording.